have Operation Hall 1, Operation Hall 2 in 2018 and 2022. These were all approaches and strategies to keep this situation, but the situation remains worse than before. We have tried to ban excavators. The Forestry Commission, when they find your excavator deep in the forest, the cost of taking it out is even more than buying the excavator, so they decided to ban those days. They have banned a number of excavators. It didn't solve the problem. Regular patrols of Forestry Commission staff, they are few though and not well armed, they never worked. We have seized the equipment, kept them at the police station. Sometimes the equipment gets missing in action. They take the cases to court, they are not tried. This situation remains. A number of arrests have been made, no prosecution. The joint work by the ISEC, RESEC, MUSEC, it has never solved the problem. And then weekly, quarterly reporting from Water Commission telling the minister the stability levels are where we have to do this. It never worked. Your Excellency, it means the approach this time, if they will adopt this one, it should be done in a different way. Otherwise, we will remain in the same position. Now, these are some of the pictures. Several of these excavators have been bent in the bush. You bend them, the next week, the people bring in, we will stop the burning. Minister said we have to use the equipment, bring new equipment the next day. Next slide. Like I was talking about the prosecution, we arrested about 845, just 2023 and 2024, and only 35 of these cases have been tried. It means the court are also not helping the situation. We have to try the people. If they have to jail them, we jail them. If we have to find them, we have to find them figures that are close to the value of the excavators so they don't go back. Some foreigners are involved, and our own local people. But you know that these people are not the ones who sponsor the excavators. The real people who buy the excavators are behind. We don't find them. Next slide, please. Now the challenge is, why have we failed? Some VCs were involved in the operations of illegal activities. Some party activists were involved. Sometimes some ministers we heard in the papers were also involved. So Forestry Commission do the arrest, and then the next day the ministers go, they release them. So if we don't have the political will at the highest level, from the president to the vice president, before it comes to the minister, otherwise the minister's work will be very difficult. If the president, vice president are committed, we do the arrest, don't listen to anybody, just let the minister go ahead and punish the people who will succeed. But if you have to call the minister, oh, these people, release them, let's try them, we fail. This is what has happened in the past. 2022, the military was withdrawn completely from all sides that we were working. So the Forestry Commission staff who are not well armed will not do the work anymore. In collaboration with the security agencies, deploy military to the 15 excavators from one forest reserve. I'm sure, Minister, you have to jump onto other forest reserves and do the same exercise. And let's see how the situation will be now. And then the issue of the armed gangs, I showed you how sophisticated they are, and they fight us back. Another thing that maybe Minister is taking up seriously is the lack of geological information. The illegal miners mine anywhere. For instance, if this room is a reserve and they come in here, they don't know where the ore is. So they have to dig all over the place to find it. But if the government can conduct through the geological survey and then map out areas where the ore is intense, then we will not end up digging everywhere. But the issue of mining in water bodies, I'm sure, should be banned completely, Honorable Minister. And then slow prosecution, which I've mentioned. These are the main issues. If we want to address the issue now, we have to tackle. Next slide. Then recommendations. Some few recommendations were made by the minister to the president a few days ago. And this is what he's deploying right now. The first one is the deployment of the military to all hotspots. This started immediately in February. That is why we are reporting about the 15 excavators. Then we have to recruit water guards or river guards to man the water bodies. I'm sure in very few days to come, Minister will be inaugurating the committee. I'm sure the Minerals Commission is already training some of these river guards. They have to deploy them and man all our water bodies 24/7 to ensure that nobody comes back. And then a holistic review of mining leases and permit regime, which Professor Chairman here is working together with the committee. Minister gave them end of February to submit their report. I'm sure they are working tirelessly to do that. Honorable Minister, Your Excellency, the repeal of 2462 has been a topical issue, especially during the campaign period. So the public will be waiting to see whether the president will really do as he promised during election time. This law should be repealed, and then the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources will now come back with another comprehensive one, because this law came from Environment and EPA. They are not in charge of mining, they are not in charge of forests. So I'm sure the minister should be given the mandate to repeal this one and come back with a more comprehensive one that will address holistically issues of forest reserves, not by any other. Your Excellency, so you have to push this agenda. It must work. And then we have to monitor and track all moving equipment that are moving to the forest. One of the critical promises or strategies to be adopted by the NEC is the reclamation of and revegetation of mine-out areas. Here they have proposed Tree for Life reforestation agenda. Very soon the minister will launch this program. It's going to be a very comprehensive program that will tackle tree planting along all ecologically sensitive areas, including our water bodies, degraded forest reserves, and also introduce trees in farming systems. It's going to be launched very soon, and I'm sure all the parliamentarians and all other stakeholders will participate in the implementation of this beautiful program. Next slide. Yes, thank you very much. This slide here is telling you, EPA is saying that Ghana requires billions to reclaim and restore degraded lands. So we should be prepared to get the funds to reclaim the lands, because to reclaim 1 hectare of degraded forest takes billions of cedis. So the fight is for all of us, not for the minister, but everybody here present. Thank you very much.
Is that the best you can do after such a wonderful... Your name is Osiakwan. I don't know what that means. You build the road or you block the road. But you really opened the door for us. We're so grateful. I think that was very good, right? Very, very good. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. On the program, they've written tea break, but because of the way you are very excited, I want to continue with the program. Because we also wasted 30 minutes, so this is what we say. If you really need to have any food, you can walk quietly and take it and come back in. If you need to use the washroom, you can do it quietly, but I want to save time. So we have 3 members of parliament who would invite to give us what we call situational reports. They are from very important constituencies. They are Honorable Robert Wisdom Kujo, MP for Prestia Muni Valley. Put your hands together for him, please. Honorable Issa Taylor, MP for Takra and Shaim. And by the way, these are 2 of the biggest constituencies in the country, and they are neighbors as well. We also have Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Ado, MP for Esutifi North. Now, Reverend Kweku Ado of Dansoman is also there. They are sitting on the same table, but they are not the same people. So there's Ebenezer Kweku Ado. He is not a pastor, but he's sitting next to the Reverend Kweku Ado, who defeated Esla Owusu. So put your hands up for Kweku Ado. He's the only pastor with a boy. You know, pastor with a boy. You believe him? It's like Roxy, likes a boy. So the plan was for them to give speeches. But the organizers thought it would give more value if we made it a conversation, because they are from 3 critical constituencies. So what we'll do is, we would invite the 3 gentlemen and then set the scene for them to tell us what's happening in their respective constituencies. After that, we will do an open forum with all of us. So please come forward. Let's welcome our 3 MPs as they come. And we know the Vice President has many pressing engagements. Because she came at exactly 9. So what we'll do is that, to avoid her leaving without us taking pictures, whilst we are, I'd like to invite a few quick photos in the front. So please set up the front. I'll invite the Vice President, the Minister and leadership to take a quick round of group photographs whilst we prepare for the conversation. So, cameraman, who's my main cameraman? Yeah, but I don't want to be in the picture, so I have to be. Okay, wonderful. So, the Vice President, the Majority Leader, Minister. So whilst we are doing this, you can be having your tea and doing some quick things whilst we're taking the photos. So the Vice President, leadership of Parliament, and I will do the tea. Okay, they say we will do tea. Go grab a cup.
I know, but not me.
Thank you very much. Excellency, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Secretary, President's Council. Let's get settled. Let's get settled for the next session. Can we do the interview outside if you want to? Can we move them outside? I recognize MP for Esikadi. Can we move the conversation? Thank you. Honorable Agreement. Thank you. Female MPs who want to take a photo, you can do that. Once we do the let's get settled for the restart of the program. Let's get settled for the restart of the program. Let's get settled for the restart of the program. Can we get settled, please? Can we get settled, please?
Give way.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for raising the issue. The Vice President.
Media move. We're going to get you the home back. Let's see. Okay, so that's Naana, yeah, the Vice President. You see, Vice President Naana, I don't know. What you say? Abusia program na there. I crab share any day because of Almost yeah, some forestry. Hey, Buah. What you say? The vice president need to come and grace this program. Let's go inside and continue with it. What you say? The echo so one here. Something that attention must be paid to, because and yes, Bibia keke. Yeah. And yes, Bibia keke. So let's get inside, then continue with the parliamentary press conference. So you can see that conversation is going on.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now want to engage. Can we have some silence, please? All right. We now want to engage 3 of our key MPs to share some insights from their constituencies on the situation. The first is the Honorable Professor Kujo. Pristia Valley is one of the largest constituencies. Robert Kujo is an experienced operator. Honorable Kujo, thank you so much for joining us. If you can give us your quick thoughts on the Galamsey situation nationally, using Pristia as a case study, what you've learned about mining within your constituency that you can share with us. Thank you.
Thank you, big brother. Galamsey is the process through which small-scale miners extract the good, or they get the final good. We have traditional small-scale mining, and then the modern small-scale mining. In traditional small-scale mining, we go into the pits, what we call the underground. We pick our stones or the gravels. We bring it to a mill. We come and crush the stones and mill it. We process it on water and blankets. You get a semi-final product which we call black. We subject the black to mercury. The mercury will amalgamate the gold dust together. After that, we use fire to expel the mercury, and we get the metal called gold, as in color gold. In my constituency, about 85 to 95% of the our river bodies without touching our green cover. Most of the times, I see military people coming to my constituency. They will run past the Ankobra River. They will not pass through the town to the forest reserve. They will go around the camps where people are pounding and mirroring their stones. They beat few of them, arrest some few of them, and go back and report that they are fighting against illegal mining. They don't enter the forest reserve. They drive past the river bodies. That is the situation. And I'm prepared to help the minister to stop those who are working on our river bodies and those who are destroying our green cover.
Put your hands together. It says, help the minister. Thank you.
I've been in conversation with the minister. Because if about 200 people are living along the river bodies and they don't get even water to spray their cocoa farms, I'm losing that 200 votes. For about 10 or 5 people who are destroying the river bodies, so I'll go after those who are destroying the river bodies. They are in small numbers to save the hundreds of people who need the service of the river.
Can you confirm that the traditional pit one is not environmentally destructive?
It is not. I'm sure the EPA people are here, the Minerals Commission people are here. They are supervising most of this underground mining. They are abandoned pits. Some of them, the small-scale miners themselves, dug those pits, and they are environmentally safe. and they are the most of the people in my constituency. The latter days, Alovia mining and other people, they are just of recent issues. But let me also say that if we are serious to fight those in the forest and those in the river bodies, I've been DC before, and when NDC decided that we should sack all the foreigners because our laws allow only natives or indigenous to do small-scale mining, you go around with a dissect, and in the deep forest, the operator will give you a phone that somebody is calling. Then my BLM will say, no, the chief executive will not receive that call. Somebody is calling from a high place, and they are my people. You know, they are my people, so if you can allow them to operate later on, you will come and see you. So all those people operating deep in the forest, they have godfathers in their higher hierarchies. And if this administration will not condone that, we can fight those in the forest reserves, we can fight those on the river bodies.
Wow.
That's my take.
Please put your hands together for Honorable Kujo. Spoken like a former DC and now MP. Let's go to Takwa. Honorable Issa Taylor. How does it manifest in your constituency? Is it the same? What else can you add?
Thank you very much. Let me recognize my leadership and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources as well. My senior here actually touched on processes as to how they arrive at the black. I think those processes are all the same across the country. If you go to various constituencies where we have small-scale mining, the processes are the same. Apart from the fact that those who are actually mining at the riverbanks. In Naana St0rm, as you're all aware, we have a lot of companies around. And when we talk about small-scale mining, popularly known as Galamsey, we have the Galamsey illegal one. We are not condoning to that one, but if you look at where our people are currently mining, it is also important to put on record. Most of these underground mining, they are all shafts from the previous companies. And they have left those shafts, they have abandoned those shafts, and currently they are using modern technology to do their mining. In Takwa, we have over 85% of the people are into small-scale mining. The good thing is that these are rock mining. When we talk about rock mining, it means that we are not disturbing the water bodies, but we are actually going underground. And we have a reasonable technology that is actually taking my guys down there. It is important to note that there are a lot of dangers when we come to illegal mining, because especially those who go to dam. We have this shaft where, of course, at my constituency in Naana St0rm, we have those who go to underground and they use some technology. And we have experienced people like some local content who have been trained, our local people who have been trained to make sure that they control this local which goes down. If you look at the way it is being done, I would say that it creates employment for the youth, but then we have to make sure, as the minister has already indicated, that we do it responsibly. In the responsible mining, trust me, there's not going to be any turbidity in the water bodies. Recently, I saw the publication which was just done at the Buah River. At the Buah River, we deploy people to go to the Buah River. When we went there, we realized that some of the Chinese have actually gone there with excavators and they were mining close to the Buah River. What we did was that we asked we have other areas which, of course, there is no mining in Naana St0rm where we are actually disturbing.
So if there's anybody mining,
then it's a foreigner, and we'll make sure that they are all chased out of the constituency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. Let's now take the comments of the MP for Esutifi North, Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Ado. Esutifi North is where we have Kenyase. In the news, we cover Newmont. And every now and again, we hear clashes between community members and the mines. So I'm sure you have a hotbed already. So Kenyase is your capital, right? So tell us about how small-scale mining takes place in Esutifi North, and what suggestions you have as to how the fight should be from your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. I would classify the kind of mining activity not as illegal, but formalized and non-formalized mining activities. In the sense that you rightly mentioned Newmont's Ghana Gold. It's because Newmont is the only formalized gold mining company in my constituency. That is, they have documentation to prove that the government has given them a concession to mine. In fact, we also have non-formalized mining activities, which they operate in the form of ghettos. So like my colleagues rightly said, normally the lands which haven't been acquired by Newmont, because when I can say that almost all the lands in Ahafo can be classified as Newmont concession. Yes, the concession of Newmont spans from Asunafo South through to Tanonof, the whole region. And so the non-formalized mining activities are being carried out because those lands that have not been taken over or declared as a mining area, you know, when it is time or when Newmont finds it appropriate to mine in some part of its concession, it then declares that area as a mining area. So those areas that hasn't been declared a mining area and are owned by the indigenous farmers, sometimes the farmers themselves sell their lands to the local non-formalized mining individuals. And so they operate the ghetto system over there. What they normally do is they dig into the land, crush the ore, bring it out, and take the ore to a processing place. In fact, they have a designated place. They have mount machines where they go and mill the ore and then use their own ways to extract the mineral. They use what we call the med. In my area, I can confidently say there is no water body that has been destroyed by any of the mining operations, whether it is formal or non-formal. But the fact is, we are only looking at what our eyes see on the surface. I was the presiding member for Esutifi North Assembly in 2017. I had the opportunity to go underground, Newmont underground. And I can tell you 24/7, it's raining underground. It's raining because the rocks in which Newmont is mining has some water deposits. And this water is flowing into a place they call sump. Then it has to be taken out of the pit into their dam. The dam is not accessible to the locals. They are not allowed to fish in the dam. They are not allowed to drink from the dam. It means there is some component of chemical. And so I think instead of classifying this activity as illegal, I support the fact that mining along river bodies must be banned. However, population is growing. The number of Ghanaians who lived in Nkrumah's time is not the same of people living this time. So definitely, the forest is a place of prospective habitat. Ironically, all our forest reserve has mineral deposits. And this mineral deposit is a resource to the country. So it's up to us as government and leaders to make sure that our population is well organized and in such a way that whilst we are recognizing foreign companies and giving them a recognition to mine, we also engage the various stakeholders to also see the local miners as formal, or we regulate them in such a way that we can also regulate their activities. In that case, we will not be talking about illegal mining. It is illegal because we don't know what is happening there for proper steps to be taken. I think in Asutifi North, because all the lands has been classified as Newmont concession, now they have moved from Ahafo South. Ahafo South consists of the Galamsey and Totroso enclave. Now they are going to Ahafo North, which consists of the Yamfo, Susanso, Adroba. They have been given the permission to divert the main road from Sunyani to Kumasi. And it is a forest distraction. But because they have document to prove, we are saying they are not destroying the forest. And so I think it is about time that part of that concession, I will say it and say it again, part of Newmont concession is taking over and giving to the youth in a formalized manner that authorities can regulate their activities. I once told the authorities in Kenya that it is the processes in mining that makes them different. Like if you are able to regulate and take them through the safety protocols, I think we can get there.
All right, please put your hands together for him. So, Honorable, he has managed to make an appeal. Whilst he's solving your problems, also making an appeal. Now, I have a final question for all of you. When I listen to all three of you, are saying that there's people doing small-scale mining who are not destroying anything. And we shouldn't go and be catching them and beating them in the name of fighting Galamsey. Number two, those who are destroying our forests and water bodies are not necessarily from the community. So your community members know who they are. Good. The question is, how can minister use your support to fish out those people who are doing it the wrong way? Because we in Accra say stop Galamsey. You are saying there are two types of Galamsey. There's good Galamsey and bad Galamsey. Good Galamsey hasn't destroyed anything. We shouldn't stop it. Now, can government be assured that if they are going after people in river bodies and forest reserves, your people, your 85%, will they support government? Will they point them out? If government says no mining in a forest reserve, will your people support and call them out? I think that's the question for you.
Thank you very much. I think we've had a series of meetings with the minister. The minister has also indicated, I think he has very good plans. Most of these activities are not regularized. And the fact that they are not regularized, it is very difficult to control the activities. So in this case, we are asked to at least go down there, make sure that all those who are undertaking these activities, we bring them to a meeting. We educate them and also make sure that they have the proper documentation. I know Minerals Commission is here, EP is here, so that at least within our community, we make sure we bring them under an umbrella. Then we can ensure that their activities are being regulated. When that is done, I believe that the initiative by the minister and the president will go a long way to make sure that we eradicate most of these activities. In my opinion, we are the representatives of the government. We are there to support the minister as well. And since the activities are happening in our constituency, we have a full control to make sure that if there are any illegalities, we are the first point of call just to make sure that we kill it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me come to former DC.
Bodies or in the forest. You have to pack bag and baggage and leave. Nobody will support that action. But I must also plead with the minister. Minister, from 1990, in our quest to attract more investors into the mining business, I'm sure our laws were lowered. They were very liberal at that time. So that attracted a lot of mining companies within Tapa and Pristia Hunivary. And more than 400 and over kilometers square land are occupied by these big mining companies. My plea is that most of the land they are occupying are low-graded areas that they will never mine. And there are also abandoned pits that they will never go back and then do any serious mining there. With the Minerals Commission and other entities, if you can seed off those areas, register them for the small-scale miners in cooperatives, then we can monitor them. And that is also a signal that if you are working on a river body or in the forest, that is no-go area. So this is my plea to the minister.
Wonderful. So I will end with Ebenezer Kweku Ado, MP for Isutifi North. Any final recommendations, and can you guarantee that your locals will support government's initiative on the ground when it's launched?
Yes, I would give a general recommendation and then be specific to my constituency. I think in taking decision, I prefer the bottom-up approach instead of the top-down method, because if we engage the local folks as to how to solve that menace, they will rather recommend a better way of solving. But if we use our authority to constitute a team to go and stop them, there will be resistance. And so I think engagement is the best practice. But for Isutifi North, like I said, we are not destroying water bodies. And because almost the entire Ahafo region belongs to Newmont, the problem can best be solved if our youth is given a portion of the area, a regulated manner to also mine, and it will prevent the security tensions around too. Unfortunately, we are in Ahafo, but all the workers of Newmont are rather developing Bono, because that is where the joy and every sweet part of life is now. And so the local folks are rather developing the Ahafo, but the mining, formalized mining company, workers of Newmont, most of them are in Sunyani. And Newmont has even provided buses to convey them from Sunyani to come and work in Ahafo. So I think once authorities take part of the concession and formalize it for our locals, Ahafo will develop, and we are going to see the light of the day.
Thank you. Put your hands together for the panel. Thank you very much. We've been listening to MPs from 3 very important constituencies. Now, I know there are a lot of MPs in related constituencies. What I want to do is to acknowledge a few more people. Then I'm going to put back on the screen the recommendations from the presenter, because I think those recommendations will be the subject for discussion. We've invited you here for your views on how you can all help this fight as a key stakeholder group. So, Projector Man, if you can put up the recommendation slide. There were 10 of them. Should they go or should they stay? Okay, take a nice photo of them. They've done very well. So please, before you go, stand up. Cameraman, please can I take a nice photo of these 3 men? With the minister, please, can I take a picture with your 3 MPs before they go? So whilst we put up the slides after the photo, I invite minister to make some quick reactions to what they've said, and then we are going to open the floor. But I want to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of COCOBOD, Dr. Randy Abe, who joined us in the course of the program. Please rise, acknowledge him. Yes, sir. So, Dr. Randy, thank you for joining us. Cocoa Board, we know right now cocoa and gold are mixed, and you are trying to disentangle it. So we welcome you, and we hope to hear from you shortly as well. Other chief executives of government agencies here present. I've not been given a list, but I beg you, I want to acknowledge your presence. So please put your hands together for all our chief executives from all the commissions. Yes. Please bring back the podium. I want the minister to say a few things in reaction to what he said so far. Then I will open the floor for discussion. Okay, we are fine.
Our colleagues again, I think that was a very good one. I think the takeaway from that discussion is something that I am also from a mining constituency, and this issue is very important because, and I think Parliament must probably revisit this matter. A typical mining company has been given a huge concession, maybe 60% of the constituency. They've mined in one area for say 10 years, they've abandoned it, and they've moved to another area. They have no intention of coming back to that area. Yet, anytime the community goes there to try to do anything there, they are shot at or they are arrested. Constantly, you see those arrests. And I think there has to be a discussion about these areas and how it is seeded back to the communities to also do some work. We've begun that discussion already. Because, for example, I've asked the mining companies, every university has a primary school. They nurture it, they support the schools, and they feed it into the university. How many mining companies are so interested in establishing what we hope to do, which is a small-scale mining cooperatives that will have more than 2,000 of the community members? They themselves will support them with the safety guidelines and the training that is needed to really dispose of waste and manage that mining properly and make them feel that they have their support. This is probably one of the root causes of the tensions we see in these communities, because often the communities don't feel that they are being treated right. And so I think we began this engagement. The mining companies' worry is that as the community keep coming to those concessions, then they are moving closer to where their operations are taking place. So they think that if they give them this one today, tomorrow they say they want this one. And so they are also worried about that. But that is where we all have to make sure we engage them and meet them middle ground, one way or the other. Because if you have chopped and somebody is sitting there, he has not chopped, his face is not the same, the face is not the same. One way or the other, we have to find a way to make sure we engage them. And as the presentation, you saw that all these illegal miners are digging everywhere because they don't know where their gold is. How do we make sure that we can locate mineralized areas and then put them there? Because if they are sure that the place has the gold they need, they will all stay there for years. And then we can all have our peace of mind. So that is the process. That is also something we are looking at. But more importantly, engaging the mining companies to work with the communities, give them back some concessions, and allow a peaceful coexistence. It's a good proposal. Thank them very much.
All right. Put your hands together for the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much. So what I want to do is, I want to ask Mr. Osiakwan to clarify the things we've put on the screen. Are these things recommendations, or these are actually actions that have been taken? Do you understand? Because we've invited MPs here to solicit their support. So Mr. Osiakwan, just to come back, I want to just ask you quickly. Deploy military to support all these nice things we've written here. Are there things you're already doing? Okay, Minister.
So I think that these are immediate things that we've laid out. Obviously, when he was doing the presentation, very unexplained reason, the military was directed to move out of all the forest reserve. And since 2022, there was no military presence in any forest reserve. So the illegal miners began to have a field day. It actually jumped the overtake of these 43 forest reserves. And so within that 2 years, there has been massive. It was as if the government was saying, just go there and do it as quickly as you can. So there has to be a change. So what we are doing now is that basically engaging the military and the police to basically begin. Obviously, we can't talk about the security operations here, but what I know is that we have begun the process of taking back our forest reserves. And I can proudly say that thanks to the military and joint efforts of police, we've taken back the biggest one, which is the shelter belt. And in the coming weeks, we have been working on other operations. This one is already ongoing. We are beginning to, as they talk about the river bodies that are really in a bad shape. How do we clean them up? You know, there are blockades in the river. If you look at Angola, different locations have been blocked. The Galamsey, if you see the wickedness of it, I have it here. They block them. So the water doesn't flow straight to the sea. So you see it right here. If it was flowing, it will go and then within a short time it will be blue. But there's no way. So we need to really clear the blockade and then make sure that as we are cleaning it, constantly, the military cannot stay there permanently. How do we make sure that we get the same people in that area, in the localized area, train them, empower them to understand that this is their life and that they should protect it at their own communities. That's why those river guards will come in. We've already begun the process with the military.
Holistic review
of the mining leases. I mean, let me ask the question. Why do we give people prospecting licenses? If we know where the mineralized areas are, we've already done the thing, we know what the gold is, we won't give you a prospecting license. The first thing you go, you get prospecting license. Then they say they are going to do prospecting. They go there and they start digging quick. Because you need to get the gold first, to go and buy all the equipment. So they enter now, then they start. Then people have licenses and they've not been using it for years. One company, one person, you will have like 20 small-scale mining licenses. Why? If you put all the concession he has together, that's large scale. But we don't have the categories of medium, we don't have medium scale. So the best thing I can do is I can't do large scale, so I'll get more mining licenses. So we are doing a recategorization to make sure that we can actually move back. The other thing that I must say is here is that the mining sector is one area that as a country we have really not done well. Just think about it. Ask how many Ghanaians can we point to that have the capacity now to own large-scale mining in Ghana? Why? If you go to every large-scale mining company, there's no white man there. It's the Ghanaians who are doing everything. But we have not created the necessary environment and conditions to allow Ghanaians to have the capacity to own these leases. And I think it's time for us to look at that. Because the real problem, 2024, we got $11 billion of gold. This is the official channel, so I'm not talking about the illegal one. But you ask the question, how much did government get? And how much was translated into value for our country? So those are the questions you need to be asking to say that, okay, so this big volume, how many Ghanaians have been empowered? And I'll use the mining sector and the oil sector. You started the oil industry, and within 5 years, you have Ghanaians who were in 5 years were able to be in the industry and make about $10 billion in contract. Why is it not happening in the mining sector? There are serious questions we must ask.
Maybe that's why they put you there.
Well, so we are talking.
Right. Point number 4, repeal LI 2462.
Yes, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, working with the EPA, is really fast advanced in this process. They've already engaged the Attorney General. And the good news is that this is basically attacking the president's power to give mining concession in forest. The president said, take my power away. You should come for the president. He says we should amend it and take his power away, because where we are in our history and what is happening to our forest, he doesn't even need that power to give any more licenses. So that process is, and so members of parliament, I'm sure you should be getting ready. The only problem about this amendment is that we are amending that portion. Because if we repeat the whole airline, the main part of that airline talks about the EPA's power to enter the forest to regulate. So we have to just simply amend the power of giving licenses and allow the EPA to still have the power to supervise and regulate. So we are, the Attorney General working with the EPA and the Ministry of Environment is handling that one.
Minister, sorry I'm stressing you. Before you go, you've done the first four. The next one we'll discuss. But there's a question I have to ask you.
Yes.
There was a big call for state of emergency in forest reserves or river bodies or places where destructive mining is going on.
Yes.
I didn't hear Mr. Siakwan talk about state of emergency, and I haven't heard you talk about it. Is it off the table completely?
It is not happening. So the first step was for us to understand, even though scale mining companies in the Takwa area, Pristi area, that employs more than 4,000 people. It's a legitimate small-scale mining company, and they do their mining underground. We have other small-scale mining activities where they have 2,000, 1,000 people working. I've stated that we have 3 million Ghanaians engaged in this activity in different regions. So the question was, do we wake up one morning and say every license suspended, so everybody go home under these difficult circumstances? You are going to go and create a chaos. And so what we are doing is we are doing a surgical operation. And I'm very happy that our team, led by Prof. Otia Bebio, done some very extensive work on our approaches. And in the coming days, you will get their report and get a recommendation. You know, when the minister wants to make some decision, it has to be backed by proper data. And so that's why we are working on that. But in the meantime, there are things that we know we don't even need a report. That is, we know that we can't continue destroying our forests. We know that we can't continue the way we are going with our water bodies. That's why we are tackling it. But a comprehensive plan on this whole illegalities and the mining regime and how we change it and the approach we take to combat it, it will be based on the report that I'm expecting in the coming weeks.
Okay. Last question. We have over 180 MPs here. What are you expecting from them? Is it to just clap for you when you are doing the work, help you pass a law, or go and lead anti-Galamsey activity in their constituency? So I want you to give some clarity to what you want from the MPs.
So this morning, first, I want to thank the MPs once again. But the reason why this is important is that I believe, and I haven't been a member of parliament for 5 times, I know the importance of the member of parliament in that particular constituency. And I see them as the leaders of that constituency. Anytime there's illegal activities, they are calling on the MP. He has no idea. You know, they give a license to somebody, they are calling the MP. When there's something wrong, they are calling the MP. What I'm saying this morning is that I want you to take charge of your constituency. We've talked about all the things that are illegal. I also want you to organize your people who want to do proper small-scale mining. We are going to support you. Can you imagine a member of parliament having led the way, not necessarily him doing it, having led a community? And for example, we are saying that we are reviewing the community mining scheme that was in place, because that was really not a community mining scheme. It was a scheme by a DC finding a private company and they're using the name of the community to create a place and do their business. That's not what I'm talking about. We are saying that we want a true community-led activity that will be supported by the MP. what we call the small-scale mining cooperatives, then we know that this is going to be an advantage. If it means we coming in to engage that mining company to seed a concession, we will do that.
Okay.
But the process is guiding you with the license, supporting with the EPA permits, and making sure that we also provide all the experts that you need. We are creating something we call gold board, a standby to buy your gold and make sure you get the market value of what you are selling, and provide you all the support you need. So we are creating all these enclaves of proper mining in your districts, led by you. So take advantage of it. Let's move your people from illegality and bring them to legality. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I hope he has brought clarity to the situation. What I'd like to do now is to open the floor for some comments from the MPs. Please come for the mic. Knowing that we have some other duty bearers in the room who can jump in if there's need for clarification. So as I said, Minerals Commission is here, Forestry Commission is here, Lands Commission is here, Cocoa Board is here, EPA is here, Geological Survey Department is here. So whilst we do this, I'm proposing that we put the mic in the middle of the aisle so that if you want to comment, you just mention your name, your constituency, and then we'll take your comment. I want to acknowledge Mr. Isaac Kunran Mwimbele, Geological Survey Authority. Can I see your hand, please? Please put your hands together for him. Thank you, sir. Dr. Hugh Brown, Forestry Commission CEO. Dr. Hugh Brown, where is he? Put your hands together for him. Mr. Martin Eyisi, Minerals Commission. A round of applause, please. Thank you. Professor Patrick Agbesinyale, Chief Director, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Where is he? Oh, are you clapping or you are not clapping? Mr. Emmanuel Enyima, for Minerals Commission, Deputy CEO. Thank you, sir. Victoria Awuni, Deputy CEO, Minerals Commission. Thank you, madam. And the Minerals Development Fund CEO, Honorable Hannah Bisu. Hannah Luisa Bisu. Thank you. You have utilized. Wonderful. Congratulations. All right. Where's the mic? Who's going first? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. One of the things I picked up, which is very worrying and I need explanation, is when Mr. Osiakwan was presenting, one of the issues is 845 cases and only 35 have been tried. Who is leading the prosecution, and what are the challenges? Out of 845, only 35 cases have been tried. Okay. What is the cause of that?
You didn't introduce yourself.
I am Sanja Nanja, MP for Atebubu.
Atebubu.
Yes, Amanti.
Thank you. So we'll take about 4 or 5. It can be a contribution, it can be a question. And please, if it's a question, let me know who it is going to so that I can direct it properly. Thank you very much, Sanja Nanja.
The mic is here.
I can't see. All right,
the mic is here. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I'm Pius Kwame Nkwa, MP for Akontombra.
Honorable Pius,
yeah.
Akontombra.
Yes. As part of the stakeholders that were invited, I wanted to see the security couples. Because when you go to the regions, they are the main bosses there. And none of these people can isolate him or herself from this canker that we are battling this morning.
Sorry, you said you wanted to see who?
The security
agencies, okay.
Yes. I have a situation in my constituency just yesterday. By the time the regional minister deployed the police and the military to get to the scene, they themselves had already informed the Galamseyers to run away. Because of this situation, a whole basic school had to shut down yesterday because their only source of drinking water has been polluted by the Galamseyers. So I think this is a nice offer, a very bold step by our Honorable Minister. But Minister, before you can succeed and succeed very well, the security couples in the country have a very big stake in this fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Pius. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We must, as a nation, probably blame ourselves. And I'm suggesting that what the government can do is to think of the concept of smart money. Smart money involves the provision of technology and digitalization and some other forms of research that will improve the small-scale mining that people are doing. It will improve the efficiency, safety. We can look at how to work on the environment, and all this, I believe that it should be something that should come from the government side. These people working, if you ask them to do research work and come out with any solutions, I'm afraid they will not be able to do so. The other one that I'm suggesting is that is it possible that legal small-scale mining, the government can, so I say partner them. When I say partner them, can hold about 5% or 10% share in it, so that they can just keep an eye on what they are doing. Just like we have done to some of these banks. If you go to Ghana Commercial Bank.
Did you mention your name, please? Your name?
Dr. Mark Kent Nawane, the MP for Nabdam.
For where?
Nabdam.
Nabdam.
So I'm suggesting that
smart mining and then possible government equity in some of the mines.
Yes, some form of yes.
Mark Kent Nawane.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Where the family or the stool had leased a land to a company or an individual, then that individual has jurisdiction of the one that gives out the land.
So I'm going to take a last question, then I'll come back to a duty bearer for answer. Let me give.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Thank you. Colleagues, this is a very timely discussion. It is good that our senior colleague and honorable minister has started to, and we get to a time, unfortunate mess that we have at our hands.
Give it to our win, because our win is
because I'm fighting Galamsey. You see, the issue is not about illegal mining. We are talking about pollution of water bodies and degrading of forest reserves. It doesn't matter. You have people who have concession to enter the forest. So you can't claim that one to be illegal, but he is destroying the forest. That is the issue at hand now. Most of the court cases are not being handled well because you have given prospecting license to the person to go and look for gold. How does he look for the gold? He must dig. He must mine to find the gold before he can do the large-scale mining. That is why when you send a person to court, because I was a former DCE, and when you send the cases to court, they ask you, you have given the person prospecting license. What does that mean? It means he is to look for gold. And the person is looking for gold, and you say he should be a company. There is a company who has hold a mining concession for the small-scale mining, those portions for the small-scale mining. And even if possible, diligent mining or whatever, then he will be there, oh, it's my concession. Then he is doing illegal activities against the small-scale miners. It makes it very difficult. So I'm happy, Minister, Galamsey activities. The issue was, we Nananum, we have the land. You as an MP don't have the land. So now as we sit here, people are calling me, people are in the forest. I tell them the land belongs to Nananum, so they should see Nananum. It makes it very difficult for you as a leader to take charge of some of these issues. So, Minister, my issue is before him. So from here, I will go to the office so that we look at how Nananum will reverse the banishment so that I can continue to fight my fight against the Galamsey. I have local task force people who are ready to fight the Galamsey without even the security.
Wow. Wow.
Whoever, we can fight the Galamsey in my jurisdiction. Thank you very much.
So,
Better.
Just hold on.
Better.
Wait on.
Wait up for a while.
We have a lot of time. We just want to space it out so that we can make progress. We've received 6 comments. I want to take a response from one of the duty bearers, then I'll take the next round. So I acknowledge all the hands. I've seen Minister for Fisheries. So let me take a response from one or two duty, because by the way, the questions, some are questions and some are contributions, but we need to recalibrate them. So please bear with me. I'll come to you. We've heard from 6 of you. Let me bring in Dr. Andiabe, who will briefly speak about the cocoa angle to the conversation. This is very important as well. It's not just a nice show. Dr. Abe, thank you for joining us. Can you give him a mic? Yes. Do you want to come up? You stand there. Give him a mic. No, come. I want to photograph you. So, come and talk a bit about what you've seen so far in the cocoa sector and what kind of support you need from MPs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, majority leader, members of Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Honourable Minister, I missed the microphone. Majority Leader, members of Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege and an honor. The culture of proper small-scale mining in Ghana is of immense importance to Cocoa Board. Honourable Minister, we witnessed a dramatic destruction of cocoa farms over the decade, with unprecedented intensity over the last 6 years. This is as a result of irresponsible mining in the cocoa growing areas by Galamsey operators and some unscrupulous registered mining companies. Thus, cocoa production in Ghana has been adversely affected by small-scale mining, ultimately diminishing the land under cultivation, level of output, and incomes of cocoa farmers. The importance of cocoa in this economy cannot be overemphasized. Besides its contribution to Ghana's foreign exchange earnings, the sector directly employs over 2 million Ghanaians with an additional 5 million indirect jobs. As of December 2024, and I'm happy that the Forestry Commission is also here, an estimated 30,000 hectares of cocoa farms have been destroyed nationwide as a result of irresponsible felling of cocoa trees through mining activities. And reports received in the past 1 month indicate that another 50,000 hectares could be at risk of destruction through mining and timber felling, as well as sand winning activities. This morning, right at the reception, I had an interaction with some members of Parliament from the Western North and Western regions who are here. And they indicated that farmers, they will be receiving complaints from farmers about the destruction of their cocoa farms by timber companies. And it appears that it's all over the country, timber, rubber, mining. And chiefs and landowners are selling these cocoa farms to these entities who intend destroying the cocoa farms for mining activities or rubber plantations or the felling of timber. Notwithstanding the Economic Protection Act, AFRCD 47, 1979, which prohibits the destruction of cocoa trees other than for horticultural purposes, the enforcement of this law has been weak. In addition, the penalty for destruction is not punitive enough to deter the destruction of economic plants, especially cocoa, in Ghana. And Honorable Minister, I'd like to bring this to your attention. The European Union and Japan have indicated that from September this year, they will begin testing for heavy metals, especially nickel, as far as our cocoa is concerned. And so, the premium status of our cocoa, which gives us extra money, is under serious threat. Because from September this year, they are starting with nickel. And this is the European Union and Japan. North America and most parts of Asia will follow shortly. And as a result of this, Cocoa Board will have to spend lots and lots of money to put up state-of-the-art laboratories at the Quality Control Center at Tema to be able to meet the standards and to be able to test for these heavy metals. So the testing is no longer for moisture and all those other things that we know. Now they want to test for heavy metals because of all the stories and the reality about the impact of illegal mining in the cocoa growing areas. So this is a direct impact that these activities are going to have on our cocoa. And we need to really do something about this. Now, we propose the amendment of this law. That's the AFRCD 47, 1979. And the associated compensation regime to provide adequate protection for cocoa. In the light of these distractions and the loss of investment, Cocoa Board has established a dedicated unit under the Office of the Chief Executive to lead and coordinate the fight against the destruction of cocoa farms. Since Cocoa Board began the enforcement of the Economic Plants Protection Act, a number of cases have been prosecuted in court. We believe that amendment of this act and adequate enforcement will be a more effective way of tackling the illegal destruction of cocoa farms in the country. The industry's major threat of illegal mining has introduced other problems such as water shortage and pollution in the mining areas, high labor costs, land degradation, insecurity, high cost of production, and low production. Last year, we did almost half of the legendary 1 million tons. And it means that the economy is actually taking a big hit. We're only fortunate that the prices are quite high. So it looks like the world market price then compensates a bit for the low production levels. And it's going to take us perhaps some 3 or 4 years to be able to ramp up production towards those levels. Cocoa Board, through the sector minister, will continue to engage Parliament and all relevant stakeholders to ensure the survival of the industry and protect the livelihood of our cocoa farms. Honourable Minister, I wish to seize this opportunity to seek the support of Parliament for the amendment of the Economic Protection Act, AFRCD 47, 1979, to protect cocoa. We kindly request Parliament to stand with Ghana's cocoa industry, especially the hard-working Ghanaian cocoa farmer, to protect the Ghanaian economy and our livelihoods. I'd like to thank you, Honourable Minister, for this opportunity. God bless us all.
Thank you very much. Please answer for Randy Abe. Dr. Randy Abe, he's the CEO of Cocoa Board. So he's seeking your support. You said it's EPA, 1979 law. AFRC decree. Okay, I'm sure they have it. So when it comes, you know what to do. Let me acknowledge Professor Banon Yakubu, former Chief Director, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, who is now an advisor on the Small Scale Mining Review Committee. Prof, where are you? So, Professor Otin is on that, Otin Ababi is on that committee. Maybe if the whole committee is here, they can all stand. How many are you on the committee? Just the two of you for now. Where are the committee members? Please, all of you stand so we see you. Thank you very much. We'll introduce you properly. Let me summarize what we've done so far, then we'll move forward. So far, we've heard from 6 MPs. MP Sanja, is that your name? He's asking about judiciary. Sefia Kontombra, security agencies. MP for Napdown. Okay, we are alerted that the
and especially fresh report for which the EU has placed the yellow card on Ghana. It is also as a result of the effect of Galamsey polluting water bodies that run into the ocean and also for inland fisheries affecting the quality of water, and therefore traditional fish species are dying. It is a dangerous situation, and the earlier something is done about it, the better. That is why I commend my colleague for this platform, and also recommending highly to the ministry that please engage the Ministry of Fisheries in your activities. I thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Honorable Minister for Fisheries. Let me take, this is the minister's round, so let me take Honorable Lydia and Minister of State for Public Sector Reform, MP for Tempanek. Please send the mic to the lady in, yes, please get the mic to her. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. During the presentation, one of the issues was that most of the people who died this Galamsey are foreigners. I think all of us in this room are part and parcel of that issue. Mr. Minister, if you haven't heard it, I'll tell you today. My constituency is a border town. We Ghanaians will help the foreigners to acquire Ghana card, acquire health insurance. When they are coming, we are not foreigners. Ghana card, then they will show their Ghana card. Their reason for taking the Ghana card and the health insurance is to come into this country and help us to pollute our rivers and go back and have good water. So if we want to fight the foreigners from coming in, one, most of the towns, most of the border towns, you have to get gazetted borders so that when they are coming in, they can be moved. Two, with the Ghanaians ourselves, we should take a consensuous effort to be able to fight the foreigners from coming in to pollute our waters and go and have safe drinking water in their countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Please ask us for help. We appreciate the nuance you are all bringing from your border community and also from the fishing sector. I'd like to acknowledge Honorable Yusuf, MP for Gole, who I believe is going to be the Deputy Minister for that sector. So let's acknowledge him. Thank you, sir, for coming. Good. I want to go to Honorable Ajay Mensah. Let him go first, please, so that after that I continue. Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much. I want period of time. I think he started very, very well. I overheard some of the police saying, we have it ourselves, because we are obliged. I think it should be a compulsion that we succeed. I will recommend, it's just a recommendation, we probably need to zoom down to MPs affected by mining activities. So we can have what is a platform that we established, and we have KPIs and specific times for, at scheduled times, we report it and give feedback as to what is actually happening. Because some of us are not affected by mining, others are affected by mining, but others too are in dangerous situations. Wasa is terrible, Russia, Takwa. And it seems the Wasama has a major challenge. So I recommend that we zoom down to specifics. MPs affected by mining. I won't say illegal mining, because they are mechanized mining operated like Newmont and so on, who are also considered. So if we are able to bring ourselves together, that would be very good. I think we can discuss much meeting. For instance, the involvement of the land, the chiefs. I'm not hearing the chiefs' name featured very well. The chiefs and the landowners. We will also be discussing alternative livelihood programs for people affected by mining or illegal mining along the river belt, like the Pra River and so on and so forth. But it is also important to comment on the CEO for Buah. Congratulations, I think I've seen you, because I'll visit you. I'm also from the cocoa region. But it is important to know that the cocoa farmers themselves, they will literally go to the Galamsey or the sports game and please buy my cocoa farm, because I've been farming for several years. Help to get money so that I'll be able to build a house. There are guys who are farming for and they farm, and they're poor. So I think that we must also think about how we can motivate them, and so the farmers. So if this suggestion is taken, we who are affected by this mining thing can be meeting regularly and be supporting ourselves.
Thank you. We want to now receive the Right Honourable Speaker, for Legacy Rights, to welcome the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament to join this conference on restoring a culture of proper small-scale mining in Ghana.
This one is harder.
Please be seated.
Okay, please, can we all get the seat? Can we all get the seat?
We welcome the father of the house.
Can we all get the seat, please? Can you all get the seat?
So I will come back to the question and answers. I just wanted to summarize for the speaker where we are, and then we'll continue. Honourable Speaker, thank you for joining us. We've been having this engagement earlier on. The Vice President addressed us, the Leader of the House, and also the Minister also addressed us. We had a technical presentation from the Ministry on the state of mining, and we are now discussing the proposed way forward. They give us about 10 things done, and MPs are commenting on how to contribute. The CEO of Cocoa Board has also pledged support. The Minister for Water and Fisheries has also pledged support as well. So we're in the second round of contributions from the floor when you came. So with your indulgence, we'll take a few more comments from members before we take your closing comments. So if the House agrees, I'm going to go back to that corner and I'll take two. The first position.
We create avenues to hold this Richard Maulia. I'm a petroleum engineer by profession, and I contested for MP for Iowa Southwest Wagon as independent candidate.
So what are you doing?
This is the third time I'm in a mining forum. I think what happened in 2018, 2021, and now 2025. All the discussions are similar. Einstein said something. He said, it is insanity to keep doing the same thing, the same way, over and over again, and expect different results. We have not been handling this mining issue correctly. The issue is that from top to down, the wrong people are in the hands of affairs. University of Mines was established in 2002, and the whole idea was to churn out graduates in the mining sector. So the first batch of mining engineers started class in 2002, and they graduated 2007. The whole idea is to bring these mining engineers to man the mining sector so that they understand the correct method of mining and how these mining activities affect the environment and do it correctly. Where are all these mining engineers? That's one question. The second suggestion is that, you see, mineral resources are finite resources. They can be depleted. With the course of time, they can get finished. Our approach to this mineral resources is as if they are going to be there forever. They will not be there forever. So what method are we putting in place in our quest for economic development that these mineral resources are also preserved for future generations so that we don't consume everything before that future generation?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, where's the mic? We'll take two from this side. So please send the mic there. Who has the mic, please? Okay, she's already on her feet, so give her the mic.
Thank you very much. And I'll start by commending the Honorable Minister for this forum. As I listened to the panel members, one thing struck me, and I think that was the point made by Honorable Wisdom, that most of the activities were carried by people who are non-indigenous back here. Is there any way maybe begin to explore what are the benefits of Naana South constituency?
Owners of the land, we benefit from it, so it's difficult to fight it. My opinion is that we need to identify the types of mining activities that, the illegal miners undertake. And so we can look at those that we can regulate and give to them to do and monitor them, those that we will stop them completely. Those that we will stop them completely. For example, there is this one called alluvial mining. That's why we declared the entire land very huge. So you destroy the forest, you destroy the farmlands, cocoa and everything, because you wash the surface of the gravel, and that's what people engage in, and they destroy the land, the more. Any government can look at that one and invest in it properly. We have a way to, but if not, the water wants a lot of money there, probably, and look at the kind of mining, the type we have, and so we can stop them from doing those that are not good, destroying the lands and the water, and those that we can do, protect them.
My name is I'm a member of Parliament. We don't have so why is it not happening? See, just across the road, while driving, who cares? And a lot of the summer machines, we see that there is spray by the roadside. Why are you allowing it? You know, you buy gun, you can call them, you can get openly beside us. We see those in so many times. Let me ask you if you can take action on it. The same.
But I will not hesitate to tell you that it's a daunting task. I say so because when I had the benefit of serving this country as the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources some time ago, I took a visit, I headed for Bishop to a Sikam near Chile. It has been reported to me that the river Buah, which runs behind the Sikam, has been diverted protect our forest for us. Now we are moving away from forest gas to recruit people and call them water gas or river gas. And even that one, you are telling us that they are handicapped, they are unable to face the Galamsey operators. So why do you engage someone who cannot, and who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, that we have a special unit in the Ghana Armed Forces? All right.
If you're a first time, I'll put your hands together for College Dowda as I receive Armah-Kofi Buah, the minister, to set the scene for the speaker's comments. Please put your hands together for the sector minister.
First of all, let me thank colleague members for your contributions. We noted all of your valuable contributions and your suggestions. Some of them are so important that they require follow-ups, and so we've taken note of all of them. We'll follow up. We'll listen to the Ministry of Fisheries, and I think it's important that we engage you as we go forward together. We will do so. And so I want to thank all members for valuable contributions. I think some of these responses will require that some of you will get direct phone calls for further discussions, and then we'll do that. And I want to thank you. Honourable Speaker, let me say that we are very grateful for your support and agreement to come and do our closing remark on a very short notice. And let me disclose that the Speaker was informed very late, but his reaction was that, well, normally I wouldn't come on a program on such a short notice, but this topic is dear to my heart. And because of that, I will come. Let's clap for the Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the presentation that was made, the key highlights were that we are really in a crisis point. Our forest reserves out of 288.44 is really on the siege. Now was described as areas we can even enter that we need to reclaim. The damage there, the reclamation effort will cost us in the millions of Ghana cedis. The water bodies was described as also in a crisis point. They described the stability levels, which is supposed to be 0 to 500, now from 5,000 to 12,000. Where, quite frankly, it's very difficult to be treated by the Ghana Water Company. The Ghana Cocoa Board has also given us additional information on the damage and impact on our cocoa farms. Talk about over 30,000 hectares of cocoa farms that are completely at risk, and the danger we face in the future because of the illegal mining. And so the key discussion is about how do we move forward. We made a point that there has to be a better way of mining. And mining is very, very important, has really implications for our economy. And we have over 3 million Ghanaians participating in this activity. So the discussion must move away from illegal mining and finding the better ways to mine, but also a better way to regulate the sector by involving our people at the very
Please, thank you so much. Be seated. Not only to grace this occasion, but also to open this orientation brief. I thank all my colleague deputy speakers and the leadership of the House. I also want to thank all honorable members for being present in spite of the enormous pressures on them. I know a few of them might not be here. We are extremely also grateful to the heads of agencies present, and I want welcome all the ladies and gentlemen who, in spite of not being qualified to be here, have found themselves here, including those who lost the election. I thank you all for your active participation and insightful contributions. Today has been an opportunity for us all of the urgent need to restore a culture of proper artisanal and small-scale mining in Ghana. I will not use the word illegal or Galamsey, but they are just illegal because we made it so. We allow the commercial mining to be legal. We also allow some small-scale mining to be legal. But others will say they are illegal because we legislated them to be illegal. I believe from the presentations, particularly the gory images we have seen, would have made an indelible mark in our minds. I've been part of this process for some time now, and had now an opportunity to hold a discussion with the leadership of small-scale mining at Kumasi. I've also seen on social media distressing images, and as a former minister for water resources, works and housing, I confronted some of the situations that were just narrated by some of the participants. And we were actually defeated because we could not match the strength and anger of those who were involved in it. There I realized that it was not just a few individuals that were involved, but it was the whole society that had given approval and in fact actively involved in what was happening on the ground. But we can no longer afford to turn a blind eye to the devastation that this type of mining has brought upon our lands, our forests, and our water bodies, and in fact, our food crops. As members of Parliament, we hold a sacred duty to ensure that the resources in our constituencies are managed responsibly and sustainably for the benefit of present and future generations. But it's important for all of us to note that the foundation of all human rights is that of the right to life. It's so sacred that the first law of nature is self-survival. And we all have it in our local dialects that you cannot be carrying food and die of hunger. That is the reality we are faced with. And we should take that on board in whatever solution we are trying to find to this crisis. And we all know that anytime you have a challenge, it's also an opportunity. And when you have crisis, you have prizes and you have prizes. And so together we can turn this around to our advantage. So the artisanal and small-scale mining, when we are able to get it done responsibly, has the potential to uplift our communities, create sustainable jobs, and contribute significantly to our national economy. Other governments have failed. They have failed because they did not get the proper prescription. This government cannot afford to fail. It will lead to hopelessness. The people have given us a huge trust, and they are very hopeful that together with them we'll find a solution to this serious national challenge. Honourable members, the fight against this culture of artisanal and small-scale mining is not the responsibility of the sector minister and his public servants alone, or that of the government. It is a collective responsibility that requires the commitment of all of us. I have small-scale mining in my area. In fact, my former constituency abounds with a lot of gold. We encourage foreign investors to take over the concessions, mine and take away our precious gold, and that one is lawful, it's not illegal. But when our old people struggle to create jobs for themselves, struggle to survive in spite of the dangers that they know they are facing, you call that illegal and you go to shoot them on sight. Please, this is a mark of a serious indictment on leadership. This is a collective effort, and the solution is not far. And I want to commend the minister for this initiative because it's a way forward. Sooner than later, we'll find a national solution to this program. And it will be a win-win situation. I want to assure you, Honourable Minister, that we in Parliament stand with you in this fight. And we provide the necessary legislative backing and oversight to ensure that your efforts and that of the government yield the desired results. Some years ago, I had a discussion with consultants from Australia on this type of mining. It's not only in Ghana, it's global. How have the others managed it? And we cannot. And so there are answers to these questions, and they are not easy to find. When you use force, you know action and reaction. The small signs are linked. We only produce fire. And the military will say fire quenches fire. But the advice of the Stone Age is different. This said, let me be unequivocal in stating that Parliament will not tolerate any member of Parliament, regardless of your position, who is found to be complicit in destructive mining activities. There is a petition before me concerning a member of Parliament, and the member will tell me that I have initiated investigation into that petition. I've taken full note of them, and what will happen will happen. Let us be champions of responsible mining in our constituencies.